Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm going to show you how to transfer your printer image onto a blank sheet of paper so you do not have to worry about these dark lines. The easiest way to do it is I have a light board here that I bought years ago for doing applique, but if you do not have a light board, a window will work. Just make sure you tape down your image, and then you're going to take your blank page and tape that down right on top and just make sure it's straight. And I just use spare tape, extra tape from my other coloring pages. I save that and reuse it just to tack things down. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a light color in the pencil set that you're going to be using, and that way it'll blend in with the other colors. So we used Prismacolor on this drawing or on this picture, so I'm using Prismacolor, and I'm using a putty beige because it's fairly neutral and light. And then what you want to do is just lightly follow these lines. And because you're doing the tracing, you can decide which lines to leave in and which lines to leave out. You just got to remember where you did your lines because it's going to be hard to see. Now you don't want to do this in graphite pencil because graphite and colored pencils do not work well together. They just don't play well together. So I always recommend using a light pencil color in the pencil set you're using. See, like here, I'm not gonna get all those dark dots. I'd rather do that with my pencils. Now I'm gonna do some of this down here so I know where to put that dark. Already put your lines is kind of difficult. Can't remember, just go over it again. Just to be on the safe side, it won't hurt. Like I said, it's going to blend in. These are going to be hard to do straight up and down, so I'm just going to get these first. I'm just going to... I'm not going to worry about these lines here, or I don't want to monkey with the label. I just want a straight honey jar. I do it myself. Okay, time for the lid. Okay, I'm gonna put some of these little tucks in there so I know where they are. Like before, I'm not gonna do all these little dots. I think for this I'm gonna need to sharpen my pencil. Hold on. Oh, and I'm debating whether to do those seeds again. If you go outside of the lines, it doesn't matter. You can remove that or blend it in. Okay, now let's see if we got everything. The best way to do that is turn your light off. And did we miss anything? Add a little bit here, but everything else it looks like we got. So, and everything's in proportion. Go up here a little bit. Okay, so turn our light back on. Okay, we'll go up here. I think there was a little bit here that was missing. I think a little bit over here. Okay, one more check. There we go. It's not perfectly straight, but that can be fixed during the coloring process. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see. That is one method to do it. But what if you want to put it on colored paper? Well, I tried putting that paper through my printer and it just didn't work. It was too thick, too big. So the problem with using a light board with these thicker colored sheets is you can't see through them. So we're gonna have to figure out a different way to get the image onto this paper. You could trace it like you did with the other, and then you've got to figure out how to get it on here. I mean, if you trace it and flip it this way over and do this, it's going to be backwards. Well, then maybe you can put something on the back and then trace it this way. That'll work. But the easiest thing I found was not using a light board or tracing paper. So I'm going to put this away and I'm going to show you a nice little trick that I found. Okay, so you want to transfer your coloring page onto a thicker or colored piece of paper that will not work with the light board or won't fit into your printer, I have found a little trick that works pretty good. Now we just want to cover up that so we won't get it dirty, because what we're going to be doing is using PanPastels. I got this kit off of Amazon, and yes, I'm an Amazon junkie. It's a grayscale. That way we can transfer onto different colored papers depending on how dark the paper is. We've got white for a black paper and some of the lighter colors for lighter paper. Now I did test this out on this brown, and it looks like we're going to need the black for it to transfer through. I did try one of the medium colors, and it just was not bright enough to transfer through. So, and another cool thing about this set, and I just figured this out, they screw together. So like we've got the white, we've got neutral gray tint. I want to put this in from lightest to darkest. This is neutral gray. I thought it said natural, but it says neutral. Neutral gray. And the next one is neutral gray shade. And the next one is neutral gray extra dark. So we're going to be using the black. And the neat thing about this too, it comes with a lid, and once you have all your colors together, you put the lid on it, and then you can store it just like this. The kit also comes with these little applicators, and looking and feeling this little applicator here that we'll be using today feels like a makeup sponge. So since this one is all dirty with the black, I might pull out some of my old makeup sponges to use for the rest of the color. So quick hack for you there. Okay, so what you're gonna do is your hands are gonna get black. So I always just have a towel. You're gonna flip your page over, put this applicator, let's see where you can see it. Can you see it there? Yeah. Okay, you're just gonna take this applicator and just start getting it into the paper right where your picture is. You don't need to do the whole page. Just a waste of pastel color, and you're gonna need a place to touch and pick the paper up. Just get a good coating in there. Get it in there really good. That should be enough of that. Let's get that in there. Now we're gonna shake this off for any excess. I just do it over the tray. And the same thing for this sheet here. Carefully lay this exactly where you want it. And this is why you don't go all the way to the ends, so you have something to hold. I just eye it, and you can just lightly move it to where you want it. Okay, that looks pretty straight. And then I'm gonna tape this down so it doesn't move around. Now for this, we're gonna want a really bright color so you can see where you've gone on your page transferring over. I just picked a pencil in my Spectrum color pencil set that I didn't use all that often. It's a vivid pink. You can use a bright red, bright green, just something so you can see where you've been. You can use just a pencil you don't use in a set any longer, or you've never used in a set you currently use. So now when we're doing this, you don't want to smudge your hand all over this. So we're going to have to be pretty careful. So and you're going to press about medium hard. So we want to get that PanPastel onto, going over it, because we want to get it down in there. And doing this, turning your page helps a lot so you don't run your hand over. And you remember, we didn't go all the way up, so you can kind of rest your arm where you didn't go. The bad thing about this is you do not want to pick that paper up to take a peek, because you're never going to get it back where you had it before. You don't have to be really perfect, just make sure everything is kind of in the right place, because you'll just be going over it with your pencils. Over the lines as many times as you want, especially if you don't remember if you went over them. Sometimes even the brightest colors don't show up over the black. Moment of truth time. Let's see how it does. Now you want to carefully take this tape off because it's also touching your brown paper and you don't want to rip your brown paper. One nice thing about reusing existing tape, remember, don't smudge your top paper. You're going to smudge all of your PanPastel. So now we want to carefully lift that up. I just kind of get under this page here. Oh my goodness, look at that, it worked. Not the best drawing in the world, but you have a base now for your colored pencils. It looks like I forgot to do the lines or they didn't show up there or something. That's okay, I'll make it up as we go. Now the next thing you might want to do, because this is going to smear, let's find a spot that's easily fixable. It's not going to smear too much until you start. So just be careful. I would keep a piece of tissue paper over this until you're ready to start coloring. And then when you're ready, you will want to get one of these kneadable erasers. They're great. Let's say you've got extra color on here. You can just go along here and you can pull that extra PanPastel up. And then what you do is you knead that color in. And then you get a fresh surface to work with. So when you get to where you want to color, just pull up a little bit of that color. See how much lighter it got? You're going to pull that color up. And then you can go in with your colored pencil. That's pretty cool. I'm glad it worked. Yeah, you're going to need to straighten out some of these lines. I mean, if you want, you can get rid of all of these lines here and make your own. The sky's the limit, so I think I'm going to go start working on this one. See how it comes out. Okay, there you go. The reason I showed you this technique is because we will be using quite a bit of it on my Patreon page for our Tier 3 I Want to Learn patrons. We will be taking photographs. I will be turning that into line art. We will be taking that line art, transferring it onto our piece of paper, and then coloring using the original photo as our reference. So that's the reason why I wanted to show you this. And you can do that with any free printable coloring page. Transfer it over and color it. Make it look a little more realistic without all the dark lines. So if you want to learn more about my Patreon page, we have 4 different tiers where you can learn different things. That is listed in the description box below. Yeah, I'm trying not to touch the paper. I don't want to smear this until I start coloring. Anything I used in the video, the PanPastels, the kneadable eraser, the light board, I'll try to find that. I bought it years ago, but I'll try to find it. And all that will be linked in the description box below. So make sure you hit the like button if you like this kind of video. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you have ready access to all my upcoming videos. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.